Let's take a look at how the Week 9 running back rankings are shaping up. We have 4 teams on bye this week. Let's take a look. We have the Browns, Bucks, Eagles, and Jets on bye. You'll still see these players ranked in our rankings because we're factoring in not just the weekly rankings, but we're going to break down every single player you see here, talk about rest of season as well. A lot of injuries from Week 8 to talk about. Let's just start off with Cam Skattebo. He was a man on a mission, but you see Skattebo. No more on this list. Dislocated ankle. Buddy will be gone for the season, presumably. McCaffrey will remain in S tier. McCaffrey, the things that he has done all season long so far have just been amazing in terms of his receiving usages every single game, week in, week out. He actually had his worst performance of the year versus Houston. He'll bounce back in a big way and have some better matchups versus the Giants, versus the Rams, versus the Cardinals, and versus the Panthers. His bye week is week 14, so, I mean, the workload might concern me here, but McCaffrey is still S tier. How do you keep JT behind McCaffrey is what you have to ask yourself. JT is averaging three touchdowns per game almost. I mean, he's averaging at least 2 touchdowns per game. JT is a historic pace, 4 touchdowns this season. So JT will stay up here in S tier. Bijan Robinson is an S tier back. Make no mistake. However, we're going to see Bijan fall down to A tier. Why? Honestly, I should come in here and make an S- tier and have Bijan and James Cook in there by themselves. The thing about Bijan is while he is probably just as talented, he is just as talented as these guys. He has shown the same ceiling. When the offense was bad, you're seeing some edited videos there, my bad. When you saw the offense not excel with Kirk Cousins, without Drake London, Bijan was ineffective. Couple that with Algier being a pest. Algier steals not only red zone usage, but also Algier mixes in and just steals. You know, Bijan only is at a 70% snap rate, whereas some of these other guys are much higher. So that's why Bijan drops a little bit this week. Looking at James Cook. James Cook, I still think this guy is elite. Tough matchup in Week 9 specifically versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if he's going to have the same touchdown rate we've been seeing, but James Cook is coming off of a monster performance in Week 8. You still have him behind Bijan in my eyes. Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions come off of a bye week. They take on the Minnesota Vikings at home in a good matchup because I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be in for Minnesota. I think McCarthy's going to turn the ball over, so I think Jahmyr Gibbs is in a good spot. Devon Achane had the most targets of any receiver, and he's not even a receiver, for the Dolphins in Week 8. He had 7 targets. He had a touchdown. Devon Achane remains in a good spot, even though you see Ollie Gordon mixing in a bit more. Javonte Williams, I've had him aggressively ranked. He honestly wasn't good, but he had 2 touchdowns. He stays where he is. This is made before Sunday Night Football, so I don't know what to do with Josh Jacobs. We'll leave him where he is. Saquon Barkley. I mean, amazing game. He had, 140 rushing yards? Best game of the season. Hit his head on the goalpost. And it just turns out that when he hit his head on the goalpost, he tore his hamstring. Now, he didn't tear his hamstring, but we didn't see him back after he limped off the field. You saw Tank Bigsby come in. We don't even have... Do we have a Tank? We don't even have a Tank Bigsby graphic. I'll tell you right now, Tank Bigsby is somewhere down here in E tier, but if Saquon misses time, put Bigsby up here in D tier or C tier. I mean, this guy is a must-add. So that's where Bigsby is. But Saquon... If Saquon's healthy, I'm still going to bump him down because they might manage his usage. So I can't have him ranked here in A tier, even though it was his best game of the season. Now, like we said, the Eagles are on a bye week, so we won't even know. And hopefully that gives him time to rest. So we can't bump him down too much. Quinshon Judkins, another team on bye week here is the Browns. I would add Dylan Sampson. Judkins left with a shoulder injury, didn't return. It was pretty early too, I feel like. I don't really know what to do with Judkins and Saquon just yet. We're going to leave them where they are. The Rams were coming off of a bye week. I think Kyron is fine where he is. Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns for the Ravens. They get Lamar Jackson back. They have a Thursday Night Football matchup in Miami. And they're 7.5 point favorites. They're probably going to ground and pound. Lamar is back. The offense should be better. Henry is poised for a good game as well. I'm going to bump both of these guys actually ahead of Judkins and Saquon just because they're on bye week. They're both banged up. Ashton Jeanty, the Raiders are 3-point dogs at home in week number 9 against the Jaguars. I don't know why Vegas is giving the Jaguars only a 3-point favorite spread. Maybe it's the BTJ being banged up. That could be a big part of it if they don't expect BTJ to play. But Ashton Jeanty has kind of been disappointing, but it's not really his fault. If we take a look at Jeanty's profile, the main problem here is that the Raiders just stink. Like, he's had a couple of decent games, you see that he had touchdowns in those weeks. Gentry's been getting snaps, 64% of the snaps the last 2 weeks. He just hasn't really done enough. Not really his fault. I'm actually going to bump him down a tier, but I still think Gentry is somebody you want to own the rest of the season. They also get Brock Bowers back. Maybe that elevates Las Vegas a bit higher. Jaylen Warren, I haven't seen him yet on Sunday Football, but Jaylen Warren's a stud. He'll stay where he is. Rachaad White actually lost work to Sean Tucker. I think we're going to get Bucky Irving back sooner than later. So keep in mind, Bucky Irving could immediately come back up in these rankings. But I'm assuming Bucky's not back. I think Bucky actually might be back, and he would be higher up. Bucky Irving would probably be immediately at least the top of C tier. But with Rachaad White, I'm going to bump him specifically down because he had a not so good performance, and Sean Tucker took his work. He was unbelievably inefficient. Breece Hall, great game. Now, are the Jets always going to have, 38 points, 39 points? No, but Breece Hall will stay where he is. Haven't seen ETN, he will remain as well. Chase Brown, back-to-back solid games, but again, this Bengals offense looks good under Flacco, which is actually going to help Chase Brown's outlook rest of season. Now the Bengals are a 5-loss team, though, and when do they start losing motivation? I know they're a business. They're not going to lose motivation, but 2 more losses, and Chase Brown's outlook might get worse and worse and worse because they need to go on a run. I'm going to leave him where he is. Kamara was banged up in the Saints' loss versus the Bucs. He didn't look good either, but he was their lead back. Devin Neal wasn't really involved. Sure, Devin Neal had 3 receptions to Kamara's 2, but it was the Kamara show. But he wasn't really the main feature. You have Tyler Shuff coming in now. This is not going to be a great matchup for Kamara. Not a great situation. I'm not going to bump him down. And honestly, I think we have to bump down Rachaad White as well. DeAndre Swift, once again, you have Monaghan getting 7 carries to Swift's 11 carries. But I still think DeAndre Swift is in a good position to be trusted every single week. 25, 16, 21, 15. He's been giving you good games because he's getting the touchdowns. So I think DeAndre Swift you can trust, and you actually bump Swift up to C tier right here. Jordan Mason, you have Aaron Jones back. I think Jordan Mason has to drop down in these rankings. Montgomery, Ramondre, we're going to keep them where they are. Just keep an eye. I mean, Travion did get some snaps this week. Did get 10 rushes. Ramondre still is very inefficient, whereas Henderson averaged 7.5 yards per carry. He did fumble, though. But Mike Vrabel seems to like that. Chuba Hubbard actually had more. Again, Chuba, Walker, these guys are almost in the same spot now, and same with Charbonnet and Dowdle. So Dowdle is not on here either, but Dowdle should be right next to Charbonnet. Maybe a bit higher than Charbonnet. I would put Dowdle probably up here, right by Trey Benson, right ahead of Tyjae Spears, because I think Dowdle, there's a greater chance that Dowdle takes over the role from Walker than Charbonnet taking over from Walker, right? So Tony Pollard, not great. We're going to bump him down a whole tier because Tyjae Spears seems to actually be leapfrogging him. And as the weeks go on, I think Tyjae Spears has a good chance to take over the role from Pollard. Mason, Pacheco. I haven't seen the Chiefs play yet on Monday night, but I like what we're doing here with the rankings. I'd rather have rest of season Hampton's got to be higher. Benton has to be higher. But you can't put Henderson ahead. Pollard is still the one getting the volume. So I'm still taking Pollard over Mason. I think this is what I'm leaning with. Yeah. I think that's a good ranking for E tier. Algier is still just a premium handcuff back, and RJ Harvey has to rise. I think RJ Harvey has to rise up ahead of Travion too, even though Henderson has his best game of the year. Honestly, rest of season, I like Travion more. But week to week, in the short term, RJ Harvey, he just had 3 touchdowns. I'm going with RJ Harvey in the short term. B-Rob, Bigsby. Oh, actually, we do have Bigsby on here. I'm going to throw Bigsby up. I'd probably put him. It's a good offense. They're on a bye week, though, so I'm probably going to throw him right there. Aaron Jones is in. Do you trust Aaron Jones? Again, this Vikings offense is not going to be great. They take on the Lions, and you have J.J. McCarthy. This team hasn't looked great with J.J. McCarthy under the helm, which might be why they let J.J. McCarthy take so much time to get back to full health, and they rode out things with Carson Wentz. Jones' first came back, didn't really do anything. And I want to check Jordan Mason, because if Jones didn't do anything, surely Jordan Mason, he did nothing either, right? Yeah, so neither of these guys, I wouldn't trust either of them. But one of them is bound to be better. I don't know which. I'd lean Aaron Jones. I'm going to put Aaron Jones right here in the rankings. That seems good. Now, we don't have Dobbins ranked, and Dobbins week to week I would treat him like DeAndre Swift. He's a starter that you trust every single week. Not as high of a receiving usage. He's getting red zone touchdowns stolen from Harvey, but I still have Dobbins ranked accordingly. Haven't seen JCM yet. JCM should be ranked somewhere down here, probably behind Pacheco, maybe right here with Pollard. I think that's good. Dylan Sampson should be on this list with the Judkins injury, so Sampson might be a name you want to go ahead and add to your team. Ollie Gordon, put him down here in sad tier as maybe like an ad from waivers. Now that he's getting 10 rush attempts, but really it is still not his show. It's still the HN show. Kenneth Gainwell, you can maybe trust him as a flex spot. I wouldn't recommend that. Hassan Haskins, he's a nobody. Woody Marks, jeez. It is the Woody Marks show. Nick Chubb, he's gone. Get him out. I'm immediately promoting Woody Marks to the top of E tier. And I think there's a chance he rises up to somewhere in D tier here in the near-term future. Woody Marks looked good. Those are the Week 9 rest of season and weekly running back rankings. We're going to have the rest of positions coming out to you soon. Thanks for watching.